Please don't scroll and give me a minute or two of your time. Engage with the video. It helps my family out. We're homeless.
Can you save me for 1 minute so I can pay off my massive medical debt from my cancer treatment? Please.
Please stick around for a full minute to help me save my dog.
Just watch the whole thing. Watch for the full minute so I can get paid.
This is day 2 of me trying to pay for my son's spine surgery out of pocket because he no longer has insurance.
This is day 18 of secretly posting on TikTok every day to try and help fund my brother's brain surgery.
Can you guys watch this video for a minute so that I can get my son a wheelchair for school?
As many of you know, I have a brain tumor and I'm unable to work due to having seizures, and I was having trouble with starting a GoFundMe.
Please do not scroll. My dog Max has recently been diagnosed with a cancerous tumor that has branched off near the spine. In result, he has lost majority of function in his left leg due to the tumor pressing on nerves. If you can stay on this video, watch it in its entirety. Like it, comment, repost. It literally will mean the world to me.
You just heard from multiple Americans who are trying to take advantage of TikTok's algorithm basically so they can survive, which is becoming increasingly difficult for a lot of Americans these days. But the trick is to grab your attention and then get you to interact with their video by commenting on it and liking it. And that should then boost its reach within the algorithm. And if enough people see it, then their account could eventually become monetized, which will then help them pay for medical bills, vet bills, other emergency expenses, or just basic necessities. And they're also using this same method to bring attention to their GoFundMes as well. For example, the man that you saw whose family became homeless, he managed to get 13 million views on his video, and as a result, his GoFundMe raised more than $100,000, and now he's almost certainly monetized on TikTok, so he can keep making money by posting content. And I think that his video was successful because he managed to keep people's attention for the entirety of his 3-minute-long TikTok, as he explained how everything was fine for him and his family until he had a stroke, and then his employer decided to terminate him. So out of desperation, he was forced to get creative and ended up turning to TikTok, and it worked out for him. And this trend has become so common that people have actually created accounts exclusively for the purpose of paying for medical expenses, like McKenna, who created an account called McKenna's Mission, where she asks for help going viral in order to raise money for brain surgery for her uninsured brother who has epilepsy. And in the 23 days that she's been posting, she hasn't gone viral yet necessarily, but she still managed to accumulate thousands of followers, putting her a step closer to getting monetized and actually funding her brother's surgery. Now, in her very first video where she asks for help, she makes it abundantly clear that she's not trying to do a GoFundMe or looking for donations. She's just asking for people's time so she can capitalize on TikTok's algorithm to help her brother.
This is day 1 of me secretly posting on TikTok to help pay for my brother's brain surgery. My brother has a condition called epilepsy that he was diagnosed with in 2022. And if for those of you who don't know, it is a seizure condition. He's been on medication for the past 4 years, changing it all the time, and no combination has ever worked for him. The last option is to do a brain surgery, which is coming up this January. However, currently my parents are paying for my mom's cancer bills because she was diagnosed with stomach cancer in July and has had surgery since then. Since my brother is 26, he does not have insurance, and so this is a huge financial burden on him and on my parents. So all I ask is that you like this video, share this video, comment on it, do whatever you can to get this video attention. I do not want anybody's money. Do not donate to me. I don't need that. I just want TikTok's money if these videos go viral, so please share and like.
So as you saw, she's not asking for donations from people, although some people do ask for donations and ask people to check out their GoFundMes or ask for Venmo or Cash App donations. But she simply just wanted people to watch her video for 1 minute and interact with it, which I think is a very reasonable ask. And it's something that anybody could do regardless if they have the means to or not. Like, you can help somebody simply by watching their content for 1 minute. And some of the people will use that minute to tell their story. Others will cook or clean just to kind of keep people entertained, because I don't think they're expecting people to stick with their video for a minute if they're just sitting there in silence. But, you know, they'll do something just to get their attention, and then they'll thank them for sticking with them if they watch for the full minute. And the reason why so many people are doing this is because sometimes it actually does work. Joslyn, the mother who's trying to fund her son's spinal surgery that we heard from, she managed to actually break into the algorithm and get 65,000 likes on one of her videos, and she surpassed enough followers to finally get monetized. And she explains how big of a difference it made for her.
So today's day 5. Day 2 sort of blew up, and you guys absolutely blew it out of the water, and now I am monetized. I have a ton of, don't mind my kids in the background, I have a ton of new followers, which is absolutely amazing. And in the last 72 hours, you guys collectively have raised $8,190.34, which means that my $19,200 total is now $11,009.66. That absolutely blows my mind, and I just want to say thank you so much. I also wanted to just say, if you could watch this video for the entire minute, or like 1 minute, 4 seconds, whatever, just a little bit over a minute, that way I can begin making something off of these videos now that I'm monetized. That would help me out so much.
So just by asking for a small amount of time from strangers, she found a little bit of success and was able to get a large chunk of the money needed for her toddler's surgery. But she's not alone, because some of the other TikTokers that you heard from at the start of this video also shared really encouraging updates after they found success doing the same thing.
On the video I posted asking you all to stay and watch to help me pay off my medical debt for my chemotherapy treatment, not only did you show up, but you showed out. And I thank you so much. I appreciate it, because the bills from my cancer treatment are massive. Yeah, I do have medical insurance, but the out-of-pocket is still, it's expensive to treat cancer. It's really expensive, but I thank you all.
We were successful in raising all of our funds on our GoFundMe, and from the bottom of our hearts, we so appreciate it. We dropped Max off this morning. The doctor said that his surgery should have started around 10 o'clock today.
Let's go.
Can you say cheese?
The look on his face in his new wheelchair melts my heart. And also, it's so nice to see Max the dog get his surgery and Cheryl get a little bit of support paying for her medical bills. But she did go on to say that she still does need people to continue to watch and interact with her videos. And she explains that she's 1 year in remission, but she still feels a lot of anxiety because the cancer could come back. Nonetheless, you know, it's still nice to see her get a little bit of relief from healthcare expenses that she should have never had in the first place in the richest country on the planet. But just because some people found success doing this doesn't mean that all of them will. And please don't mistake this as a feel-good story, because it's not. You know, as nice as it is to see people come together to game TikTok's algorithm for a good cause, this is not a feel-good story. This is a dystopian nightmare story, and people shouldn't have to do things like this just to get by. But it's not surprising, seeing as how 59% of Americans can't afford a $1,000 emergency expense, and this was already the case prior to COVID and before Trump's dumbass tariffs, but things are about to get so much more worse when healthcare costs double or even triple after the expanded ACA subsidies expire. Not to mention, Fortune points out at least 20 signs of an affordability crisis in America, which you're all already familiar with, including a rise in the cost of groceries, housing, utilities, electricity, as well as an increase in buy now, pay later, which is fueling the debt crisis. Not to mention, people are already defaulting on the debt that they have. And while Trump might try to deny the affordability crisis, this is one of the few times that he can't lie his way out of this mess. He can't even get his own cultists to live in an alternate reality here, because everybody feels the strain. You can't not feel the strain. Case in point.
My kids' daycare went up. Can't afford the cost of food. Using credit cards for everyday expenses. No money left after their bills are paid. Pretty much just a whole bunch of financial mess.
We changed presidents at the beginning of the year.
We did.
And the guy who moved into the White House said that he was going to fix it. Several times he said it would be easy.
Absolutely.
Has he fixed it?
Absolutely not. I'm definitely waiting for him to fix it.
Jones is a 3-time Trump voter, but she says he has simply failed to keep his promise to lower the cost of living.
I'm very let down by that. very, very let down because I feel like it's only gotten worse.
So as you can see, Trump isn't going to be able to gaslight his way out of this crisis because people are working longer hours for lower wages and they still can't afford to get by. More and more people are falling behind, and this was already the case like a decade ago, but things are getting so much worse, so much quicker these days. More people are falling behind and they can't afford emergency expenses, hence why they're resorting to side hustles like Uber or DoorDash or turning to TikTok during times of need. But this isn't unique to America, by the way. We just learned that the lion's share of prominent right-wing accounts on Twitter are actually people in India, Nigeria, Bangladesh, and other countries that are gaming Twitter's algorithm by farming negative engagement in order to supplement their incomes or get by. And this has become common because Elon Musk allowed people to monetize their posts and made it so that way the most outrageous tweets float to the top of the algorithm. So similarly, TikTok made it so that way people on their platform are rewarded for maintaining people's attention for a long period of time. Now, it's not a one-to-one comparison, obviously, because Nazi posting on Twitter is objectively harmful. With that being said, though, I don't blame the people for doing the bad. I blame the algorithm for incentivizing bad behavior. But the reason why I raised this point in the first place is because I think it's important to point out that global late-stage capitalism is fueling these kinds of social media trends, where people have to game algorithms to supplement their incomes or pay for medical expenses or emergency expenses. But I do want to go back to the people that we talked about at the beginning of this video and be very clear about the fact that what they're doing is not as easy as it sounds. And even though some people that we talked about today did find success doing this by taking advantage of TikTok's algorithm, it's so much easier said than done. We only know about their stories because they managed to break into the algorithm in some way, but we may never hear from the thousands of others who are still desperately trying to gain traction. And some of the people that we touched on, they still haven't gotten the help that they need, even though they did break into the algorithm, namely McKenna, who's still trying to raise money for her uninsured brother's surgery, and the following two individuals who are still grinding away on TikTok as we speak to try to get by.
My name's Nathan, and I've been diagnosed with a brain tumor, and I have not been able to drive or work for over 2 years. I've used TikTok as an income, and I have just been denied again for my disability.
So I can never operate a motor vehicle and heavy equipment. So how am I supposed to get to work? I'm not even supposed to use stovetops. So explain to me how I'm fit to work.
This is Annabelle. If you already know us, thank you. Welcome back. If you don't, she is a 12-year-old pit bull. She's the greatest dog in the whole world. Also has a bleed in her GI tract. People have been asking for an update, so I just wanted to continue updating you every day so you knew where we were at. Her medications are working well. So she's definitely more comfortable. She's falling a lot less, which is good. One side effect of the bleed, in fact, is that she's losing blood. She is very severely anemic with really low blood pressure. So often she'll stand up or just suddenly fall over. And if you are able, I will continue to drop my Venmo in the comments here. If you are able to do anything 50 cents, $1, we are already over $1,000 in on vet bills with her, and we still don't yet even know what it is.
Yeah, so I'm going to put both of their Venmos right up on the screen somewhere in case you want to send them a couple of bucks if you can spare that. I'll also link to all of the TikToks that we've watched, as well as their GoFundMes or whatever they're asking for. Some of them are just asking you to watch and interact with their videos. Others are specifically asking for donations via Cash App, Venmo, GoFundMe, and whatnot. But, you know, if you can't afford to help, I think that just watching and liking their videos really does go a long way because it can help them break into the algorithm and get them the help that they need if they can monetize their videos. And I just want to make sure that we participate in the trend that we're talking about and not just, you know, talk about their struggles in the abstract and gloss over what they're dealing with as if they're objects of a news story for our entertainment purposes, because they're not. These are human beings who are struggling to get by like many other Americans right now. And, you know, if we can help, then I think that we should try to do that, right? So just give them a nudge in the right direction, help them maybe achieve viral success to alleviate some of their financial strain. And, if we can do that, I think that that would be a wonderful thing. But I do want to end this video by saying that they shouldn't have to fucking do this in the first place. America has failed each and every one of these people and millions more like them who we haven't heard from today, who are all struggling to survive in this dystopian hell that we're living in. People should be able to make enough money. They should be able to afford surprise expenses. But I mean, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, how are you supposed to save money? Even if you do manage to put away a couple $1,000s, it shouldn't be wiped away like that, all because you were unfortunate enough to get cancer, or because your toddler needs spinal surgery, or because your dog needs surgery. Like, we shouldn't leave people out to dry when they turn 26 because everybody needs healthcare. That doesn't change when you hit a certain age. In fact, the need for healthcare goes up as you get older usually. But the fact that these stories are so common speaks to the barbarity of our system. It speaks to the barbarity of capitalism. And as much as we all try, no amount of mutual aid could ever fill the void left by the government, because there's simply too many people and too many crises that can be solved possibly by the kindness of strangers alone. You need the state to step in. We need a government that is going to stop letting billionaires and corporations profit off of our pain and suffering. We need a government that is going to redistribute wealth that's being hoarded by billionaires and corporations, because all of that money could be used to help so many people in need. And I'm sorry, I don't think that Jeff Bezos should be allowed to buy 3 mega mansions when mothers can't afford wheelchairs for their sons unless they go viral. Mark Zuckerberg shouldn't be able to colonize a Hawaiian island and kick indigenous people out of their homes when Cheryl can't afford medical bills even though she already has insurance. Like, the fact that all of this is happening is a choice. It's a choice of our corrupt government. And they chose to let billionaires and corporations have it all while we're left with crumbs. So don't let the brutal reality of our system demoralize you. Let it motivate you to change the system so shit like this doesn't happen anymore.